Welcome, my name is David Ayeni, and I want to welcome you to the creativerhino.com. Well, this platform is designed for creatives in the television industry. And welcome back. So, on this channel, the focus is really on Africa as a continent. Now, if you're in the television industry around the world, this is still applicable, but the focus is in Africa. I have had the opportunity of traveling around Africa, and I have seen individuals and companies do amazing things and tell great stories. And this platform is for such individuals and companies to tell us how they're able to accomplish the things that they have, despite some of the challenges or difficulties that they may have gone through. All this would not have been possible without a partnership with Highway Limited. So Highway is a supplier, a distributor of television broadcast equipment. And they have supplied us lights, they've supplied us a TriCaster and other products and cameras that you'd see used on this platform. Without further ado, let us go to our first program, which is an interview about Max TV and the installation that was done to prepare them for the African Cup of Nations. Welcome to Tech Forum. My name is David Ayeni, live from London. And on today's show, I have guests from Accra and Lagos who will be joining me. So we're dealing with West Africa in this show, and the whole conversation is centered around IP workflow. So ladies and gentlemen, just join me in welcoming our guest. And I am going to start with you, Abna, and all the way to Wale. So Abna, if you can tell us your name, your full name, what you do, and what part of the world. I know I've said it before, but what part of the world you're in.
Okay, my name is Abner Bryant, CEO for Clearvision. Clearvision is a media consultancy company, and we deal with some of the top TV stations in Ghana, especially, and across Africa. So we've done work for TV3 in terms of content distribution, and we've done a lot of work for Max TV in terms of helping to scale up and also broadcast equipment and content distribution as well.
Hi, my name is Chimdi Chiesukwa from Lagos, Nigeria. Uh, I run a company called G Networks Media Technology and Entertainment. We are more of a consultancy company and integration company. We do business across Africa and the rest of the world. Our key strength lies in providing turnkey solutions for clients in the broadcast area, bringing most clients from an analog workflow to an IP-based workflow.
Hello, my name is Olawale Adebite, IT communications engineer. I'm into consultation with a lot of outfits, including Highway. I'm also a system integrator for a lot of broadcast solutions that's from NewTek, Blackmagic, ROS, Broadcast Speaks, name it, to Clearcoms. I've been into production and integration. Also one of the producers of the Experience Lagos for over the years, and worked on many projects across West Africa and Africa as a whole.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I am so glad I have you guys here. I know all of you personally, and I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to share our knowledge. Now, for those of you watching and trying to figure out what exactly is going on here and what we're trying to do, the focus here is on Africa and how we use technology. And today's show is focusing on IP workflow. If you're wondering why I keep looking left and right, it's just because I am producing, I'm hosting this show, and at the same time, I'm doing all the switching. So if you're wondering what's going on around me, just for the sake of clarity, I'll show you this. So here's my setup. As you can see, this is the TriCaster TC1 user interface. I have my main computer over there where I push things and everything else, around here to make this work. Now, this particular camera is my iPhone, which is currently using the NDI camera, and I'm bringing this wirelessly into our workflow. So when you see me moving around and switching, that's basically what I'm doing, producing the show while I also host at the same time. So I'll go back to everyone. So let's start our topic today. And today will be, once again, for those of you just joining, we're talking about IP workflow and focusing on Accra, Ghana, using Max TV as our case study. Abner reached out to me, I think, a few years back,
Okay.
and we talked about the technology, and they got a TriCaster. That's where it all started, and most of it just expanded. So I'm just going to pass it on to Abner. Abner, could you just tell us what the initial vision was, what you were trying to do, and how we came about the solution that you have deployed, I meant on Mac TV.
Okay, thank you. So Max TV started operations somewhere in 2014, 2015, basically on a low key. Okay, so at some point, then they decided to go big. And that's when I came in. As part of my consultancy work, I was supposed to be at Max TV on a day-to-day basis to make sure that everything goes according to plan. So for me, my advice to Max TV was, because of the digital migration, there are a lot of TV stations in Ghana. And so we need to find ways of breaking into the market. And I thought that technology and new broadcast solutions is the way forward. And so, of course, I contacted TriCaster, a new tech, and I was introduced to David, and the rest is history. Max TV acquired the TriCaster TC1. Why the TriCaster TC1? My background in television, I started as a sound recordist and moved on to be a producer and rose through the ranks to where I am today. When I was in television, I saw a lot of woodwork construction, set construction and all that. And I thought those things are archaic, in my opinion. Okay. So to be cost effective, you need to do more virtual sets because it takes off a lot of the cost, as in getting carpenters and all that. So that's how TriCaster came in. And I must say that we implemented the TriCaster for AFCON. That was the first time it was implemented, and the feedback was great.
Oh, fantastic. So, our viewers can see your current setup. I can see your TC1's control surface and that. So in terms of the way the technology has, all the technologies employed has worked for you, could you just tell me what Max TV currently does with all this, with all this technology that we're currently seeing?
Okay, so one of the ways we've utilized the TriCaster and other solutions is the fact that, for instance, we signed the English Premier League on a Thursday, and we're supposed to do our first live game on a Saturday. We couldn't have done that with construction of a set and all that. So TriCaster was just the perfect solution for us, and we're able to do that in just 48 hours. And the same with the Ghana Premier League. I think the Ghana Premier League also, we signed on a Wednesday and the first match was on a Sunday, or either we signed on a Thursday and the first match was also on a Sunday. So it's quick to deploy. And after that, we've also introduced, in a month, we're able to introduce about 5 to 6 live shows.
You just stay right there. We'll be right back,
Mm.
and just after this short break. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, welcome back to the show, and joining me is Abner, Chim, and Wale. For those of you who are just joining, Abner is in Accra, Ghana. Chim is in Lagos, Nigeria, and Wale is also in Lagos, Nigeria. Chim, I remember reaching out to you when I got to Ghana and trying to figure out how Max TV could make use of their TC1. And it was very obvious to me that we have to go completely IP to make sure all these things work. Because when I got to Ghana, there were so many cables we needed. There were just so many things. And I figured we did not have all the cables we needed to completely deploy the solution. And I reached out to you. Could you just, share with us your experience in coming to Ghana, what you had to do, and the success story, which is obvious because the target then was to get ready for the African Cup of Nations, which was like 5 days, to go live. And I remember you and I working very late into the night, but I would like, let you share your experience, please.
Wow. So the whole of that setup for the AFCON project was something I'll say crazy. Initially when you called, it was like, I need you to just come in. We could get this thing done in 2 to 3 days. And when I got there, it was like you get in and you see walls and ground and you're like, oh man, this is not it. Too many things were not in place. IP technology was something new to them. They were just trying to get to understand what we're dealing with when you talk about linking the TriCaster with the 3Play, with the SNS storage, the editors in the post-production facility. All of these things were like, how would we get all of these things working? And we also were looking at how are we going to try out real life analysis in the studio, and that's how we were able to think about bringing up the teleslator, the Neotech teleslator in on a 75-inch TV monitor. So it was just I don't know how I was going to say it was super crazy. But one thing I think I appreciate was the willingness for the guys on ground to adopt new technologies. They were open to what we were talking about. I got into Ghana from the airport straight to the studio, and then I looked at the rack that was there. It was, I think, a 9U rack. And looking at all the things we needed to install, I was like, no, we needed a 42U rack. And the next thing was like, go get it. We got a 42U rack. We turned around. Oh, the space was too small. Mark said, break down the wall, expand the control room. And in no time, we're able to like expand the control room, set up everything, and we had to work day and night to configure all of those things. Getting the SNS to connect to be installed, and all the systems to connect to the SNS. You're talking about the TriCaster, the talk show, the 3Play, the guys in the post-production room, the MCR guys. You can imagine the MCR was taking videos right from the SNS to schedule for playback on the TV. So you're talking of deploying that kind of solution in, let me say, 72 hours. running the network cables. We had to run every single network cable to every single system in 72 hours. Nothing was on ground. So you had to start terminating network cable afresh. You run them, you terminate them. Man, it was crazy. But I appreciate the cooperation, the willingness for the guys on ground to learn, the openness of the guys on ground to say, oh, I don't know this. Can you teach me how to use it? And David, I would say it was a great experience. You know how we had to spend 3-4 days in the studio to get all of these things done. You know, we were practically walking and only going to the hotel to go change, freshen up, and come back to the studio. But it was nice that we were able to put all of these things together. And at the end of the day, when AFCON came, people were hailing Max TV as the best produced AFCON ever. You know, I felt proud. And when Max TV now got the English Premiership license, and in less than 24 hours they were ready to do a live show, I was more than pleased that what the technology we've put in place there had made all of those things possible. Yeah, so the slide you're looking at right now, it's a kind of breakdown of just a little breakdown of what I had to deploy there. You're looking at, we had a Netgear router that was linked to a switch via a 10 gig fiber cable. And then from the Netgear, from the switch, we had the 3-play connected to the switch, the SNS connected to the switch, the TC1 connected to the switch, the talk show connected to the switch, and all the systems from the studio connected to the switch, all via 1 gig Ethernet network cable. We were running Cat6 from the switch to all of the systems. So every system there was connected via 1 gig, but the router and the switch was connected via 10 gig.
That's interesting. So why use a 10 gig router if all you need is 1 gig?
Well, we are putting Max in a place of moving them to where we actually want them to be. We want a situation where we'll have in the future all 10 gig base network for Max TV, so that the movement of the amount of file and things they can do over the network will be way more. We're looking at doing video transport via IP all across the studio, between the studio and the MCR, which we are doing, which Max TV is doing currently right now. But we're looking at expanding Max TV to a 10 gig network. Yeah, one other thing, David,
Yes.
when we moved into a 10 gig network, it gives Max TV the room for them to do 4K production.
Abner, I'm just going to throw you a quick question. So in terms of this workflow and how everyone is working at Max TV at the moment, are they satisfied with the solution? Because I know most of it, you know, post installation and deployment, you sit back to see if you're having any bottleneck. Is there any particular thing about the IP workflow that you are not happy with? Maybe not happy is not the right word. Is there something else you would you feel
I think I'll speak in general terms. I think in general terms, everybody's happy. Do you know how you travel to places and just for excursion? Okay, so I traveled to Lagos and I want to see your zoo or some places of interest. Okay, I mean, at some point, every single day, we take people around our studios. And so I would say that Max TV is very, very, very happy and satisfied and ready to do more.
Oh wow, that is wonderful news. I'm really happy about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, just still stay with us. We're going to move this conversation into the outside broadcast realm. Because when you were working, Max TV, that is, working with AFCON, the signal was coming to the studio. However, with the is it Ghana Premier League? Is a totally different. Yeah, you had to bring in feeds remotely. Now, Wale, this is your place of expertise, and we'll be coming to you right after this. So hold on, guys. Hello, Wale. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Well, thank you so much for your patience.
I think before Wale comes in, I just want to give a brief background of what's happening for the Ghana Premier League.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So Ghana Premier League was signed probably on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and the first match was supposed to be on a Sunday. Previously, there's an arrangement with the national broadcaster, which is GBC,
Yeah.
and they were not satisfied with the way the bidding went. So they withdrew their services and said, we are not going to provide any service to Star Times. Okay, Star Times won the bid. There's some kind of collaboration between Star Times and Max TV. And so we had just about 48 hours to put a team together. I mean, put everything together from A to Z. Okay. And there was so much tension surrounding the first match. Stories went out there that Star Times, Max TV were not capable and cannot do a live game. And so, well, we accepted the challenge. And so we deployed, apart from getting the team together, the OB van and the team together, we deployed 3 solutions on that day because we dare not fail. So we had our satellite solution. We have an IP. I had to call Highways from Nigeria, Chim from Nigeria. Within less than, Chim, I called you on around 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Maybe less than 24 hours, and they were in Ghana, and they didn't talk about money. They just were just here to provide a solution. And at the end of the day, the IP solution from AfriWest, I would say, proved to be the best, and that's what we are using. So over to you, Wale.
Oh wow.
Thanks for the introduction.
Well, Wale, if you don't mind me just chipping in here, one of the ideas of this program is how Africans can reach out to each other. And when you have technical issues like this, you don't have to worry about finding people in Europe, the United States, or Asia. Reaching out to local expertise just means you can get things done. I would just say this before I call you Wale in. When I got to Max TV and realized that the TriCaster was still in the box and I had less than 10 days, we had like 8 days before the African Cup of Nations. Initially, I have to say it was scary. It was a scary experience. But then I called Lagos. I called Highway Lagos and asked for a list of things. And all I said to Biola, who manages the Lagos office, was, I do not care what you do. You see this list of things that I've sent you, and there were a lot of them. I need them tomorrow morning. So I called him like in the afternoon. And the next day, all those things had to be shipped down from Lagos to Ghana, which is a 45-minute trip. So I got everything and was able to work to deploy it until I got to the part of the IP, and we got in there to, call on Chim. And then when it came to the Ghana Premier League, I would leave Wale to expatiate on or to tell us more on his experience and what was deployed. So Wale, if you don't mind, just share your experience, please.
We have a partner called AVIWest, and hitherto now we had over the Lagos Marathon, where we're able to do coverage from the beginning to the end. And it's a solution that is packed with a lot of intelligence and makes use of the current existing infrastructure that most people have, which is your 3G or 4G, and even compatible with the coming 5G. So with the AVIWest solution, we're able to take real life on motion for 42 kilometers of the marathon from the beginning to the end. So you can see, and we had 4 camera feeds coming in, and it took us just a few hours to set up from the day before, and we went live first thing 6 a.m. the next morning. So we were already used to the solution and what it brings, especially when it comes to sporting events, news gathering, feed distribution across satellite or any other place around the world. So when we got the news from Max, we were very excited because we knew we could deliver. We were certain, we were sure. In Nigeria, you have the mobile networks running on 3G and 4G. And so that was the best to ride the connectivity on. Now, AVIWest solution is predicated on bonding abilities. They actually have a stream technology called the SST, Secure Stream Transport Protocol, which allows you to take HD to 4K live feeds through different network. It bonds them together, thereby expanding the available bandwidth in between each one of them. So you have a combination of possible 11 networks that you can use at the same time.
So wait.
So your bonding could actually increase up to say maybe 50 meg per second.
In terms of, just help the viewers understand what you had to deploy. I know you have a slide. Would you mind taking us, through this slide and giving us more insight on the solution you deployed?
So the solution is based on the same principle. You have your receiver, which is the decoder in your MCR, and on the field you have your encoder or your transmitter. So the transmitter we used in this was the Pro 380 encoder, which you can show on the screen exactly. So it's a small box that's designed to run on a V-Log battery at the back of a camera. So if you have a reporter going out, all the reporter needs to do is just carry the box, add it to his camera stand, and it's a mobile OB van, so to say. So we're very, very confident because, like he said, we had used it 2 times. And the other part in the MCR is the receiver, the decoder called the stream hub. Now, the beauty of both technology is that you never have any drop packet over your IP. So whatever resolution or amount of video packets that leaves your market arrives at MCR, the same format, the same quality.
So, okay, what Wale was talking about there is that with the AVIWest solution, we were able to cut down on the expensive cost of satellite uplink, which Abner would confirm that after about 2-3 usage of the AVOS solution, everyone agreed that that's the way to go. It will be interesting for you to know that after we finished that match on Sunday, when we came in on Saturday. They got we came in on Saturday morning. They got the right on Thursday night. Abner called on Thursday, I think about 10 p.m. Ghana time, 11 p.m. Nigerian time. And then we had to just pack up our things, and we were in Ghana on Saturday morning. We went straight to the venue. After we finished the transmission for Sunday, the Ghana FA Cup draw was to happen on Tuesday. Now, normally this was covered by the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation using their satellite uplinks and every other thing. Max called on Monday night and said, please, can the AVOS solution cover the Ghana FA Cup draw live on Tuesday, because the Ghana FA wants it live on Tuesday. And I went down there with the encoder while he was in the studio, and we did the live coverage. In fact, interestingly, I did the video mix from my laptop while pushing the feed live to the studio for live transmission. So we're able to do 3-camera mix using my laptop and the AVOS solution to push the feed live to the studio. It was interesting.
Can I interject? Abner, where were you in all this? You're talking about deployment in hours, not days, not weeks, not having a concrete plan of going back and forth. Abner, how were you able to cope with what I would assume must have been an immense pressure environment? Maybe I'm wrong, but if you could just tell us how you felt or what was going on.
Okay, so it was intense pressure, but I've done this work all my life. I've done production for God knows how long. So for me, it wasn't pressure. So a lot of people were skeptical. A lot of people were putting pressure, asking questions, but I was cool. I know at the end of the day, we shall make it happen, and we did.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to you and.
But let me make some reference to the for the iPhone module. Okay, so what we wanted to do to achieve is to, let's say for a match day, you have about 2 to 3, or let's say 3 to 4 matches in a day, and you are doing a discussion. We wanted a situation where we can go for reports in each of the centers. So the host of the show can say, okay, so let's go for a report in Takwa, or let's go for a report in Cape Coast, and show the goals or speak to a reporter. And that's when Mojo came in. So for this particular game you see on the screen, I decided to pull a surprise. So I did not tell the owner of the station about what was going to happen. So I had to use my own resources to get an iPhone 8, and then we made it happen. So he was watching from home, and then he called me and said, "Oh, did we take a camera to Elmina?" And I said, "No, we didn't. It's a phone." And he was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, a phone. It's an iPhone 8 Mojo." And he was surprised and very happy. And I can say for a fact that I think we have acquired a Mojo as well. Max TV has acquired a Mojo as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So, I mean, what I'm going to bring you on. If you could, let's discuss this. You know what? Make it easy for me. Just discuss. Let's discuss how you made this all happen. On the screen, I can see NewTek AVOS. I can see the NewTek Free Play, PC1 Visa T, SNS. Could you just run us through how you and Chim were able to deploy or integrate what was happening in the field and the station together?
Okay, based from our long combined years of experience, what you have on the screen is 3 venues. So we have venue 1 and venue 2, left and right. And above it, you have what you call a module. So you have your OB van or your production crew, no satellites, uplink. You have your Pro 380 encoders on both sides. They are able to send in their feed to their regular mobile networks. Same as the phone app as described by Abner, they're also able to send in their live feed from the venue. Now, the AVIWest receiver has the capabilities to receive 16 live feeds from any venue or any place in the world.
Hub? Would that be the stream hub?
Yeah, that will be the stream hub.
So you're saying this device here can receive
yes,
up to
16 live
feed.
Yeah.
So the StreamHub has 4 SDI outputs and can give you 16 outputs via IP. So you could take all the 16 outputs via IP. It supports SRT outputs, secure stream outputs, ROTMP outputs, ROTSP outputs. As Wale mentioned, NDI support is coming later, hopefully maybe by the end of this year, the last quarter of this year, or maybe by 2021, there'll be NDI output support from the StreamHub. So what Wale was talking about there has to do with how the AVIWest encoder compresses this video signal and sends it out. So you're talking about using all the different mobile networks available, the SIM cards from the mobile networks available. You're talking about your 3G, 4G, and even the 5G networks. Now take all of that together, bond it together, and because of the unique technology that the AVIWest encoder uses, particularly the secure, reliable stream transports, it's able to send all of that without a single packet loss. So at the end of the day, what you push from the encoder is what you get at the studio. So what we are using in the case of Max TV, what we used is that we use the provider at the studio that gave us, I think, a 20 MB pipe for downlink, and we used 4G SIM cards from 3 or 4 networks in Ghana to push the stream. So we're able to push constant HD stream from the venue to the studio.
Okay, that's interesting. So Wale, if you could also, explain this to me. Is this a user interface for AVIWest, or could you just tell us what we're seeing?
Okay, so what we have on the screen in this slide is 2 feeds coming from 2 different locations.
Okay.
So on your left, you can see that you have input 1 and input
2. Yes.
Yes, and you can see also different preview of the incoming feeds, video feeds.
Yeah.
And in the middle, you can see the bandwidth each individual feed is consuming.
Okay.
And then on the right, see physical output it is sending those feeds. So it doesn't matter how it's coming, you can actually decide how it goes out.
Oh, interesting. That's
It also shows you in real time, able to record every incoming feed at the same time.
Yeah, I can
So
see that
even,
on the left hand side. So
yes.
each stream. So you're saying the AVIWest can also record the feed coming in
Yes.
from any of
so
the
I'll give you
sources.
a typical scenario. Let's assume that you need to cover 5 matches, but your system in the transmitting channels is only 1 or 2. So all those live feeds will come into the stream hub and it will record them individually.
Oh,
And when you are ready, you can actually play back from the stream hub as though they were live feeds.
so you're saying, so not only is the hub able to store, the hub is also able to play back, like just a playback, a play out solution.
Exactly. In the same quality that it came in.
In terms of the pros and the cons, as we round up this show, the pros and the cons of this whole experience for you, what would be your pros and what would be the cons?
I think I'll want to be on the positive side, so I'll speak of the good side, the advantages. I think first and foremost, the team at Max TV has been exposed to new technology, and yeah, they've learned a lot, and so it's adding value to themselves. When it comes to the AgriWest, I think it's a very cost-effective way of deploying and broadcasting live.
Yeah.
For instance, for a live game on the field, okay, it takes just about $20 of data to stream or to send a 90 minutes game. Just about $20, and you need few people to deploy it. You just need one person at the match venue and one other person at the studio, probably. So it's cheap to deploy. It's portable. It's easy to carry. Those are the advantages.
All right. So, Chim, in terms of the cons, because I hear your name being mentioned a lot in this field, what will be your cons? This is Africa, so we have quite a bit of limitations every now and then. What would be the cons for you, sincerely speaking?
I think the challenge in Africa will be cost, finances. We still have an issue where broadcasting is not fully supported by the financial institutions. So it's a challenge for African broadcasting companies to access funding to push for cutting edge technology. I think if there's anything that we need to find a solution to that would drive the adoption of this technology in Africa is finding a middle ground between the manufacturers, the financial institutions, and the broadcasters for them to be able to acquire cutting edge technology and be able to upgrade when the need comes for it. Not the other way around where we have to wait till the Western world are done with a particular technology so we can buy the used version of it. I think that's what I see as a challenge in Africa.
You kind of merged mobile networks together, and I know that there's 3G, 4G, and hopefully 5G. Do you think the solution that you deployed for Max TV in terms of OB and being in the studio is something that other West African countries can adopt?
Oh, very much. It's actually one of the best opportunities to enter into the live casting. A very, very low capital investment.
Okay.
I mean, your our return on investment such technology is far better than going to the satellite complex. Also, it requires much skills on the part of us because they have less about. So configuration can be done remotely supported as well. As a matter of fact, all you need to do, go to the venue, in your video, cross your hand, popcorn, and the transmission is. Okay, for the Avios product, is designed strictly more for professional broadcast. So latency is as low as 500 milliseconds glass to glass. That means almost instantaneous as the feed is coming in from the arena. Whether you're driving or not, you're receiving in your MCR. It's also really adaptive and very stable in that it's intelligent when connections down and when another one is available, make that switch and do what you call packet transmission so that you can have quality on your side. Other manufacturers don't have that capability. Now, the bonding technology also is great because it actually uses far less bandwidth for stream transmission. And best of it all, they also have Hollywood award for best video transport solutions that can have.
In Wallace talked about the whole AviWest solution, and I think that's really, really brilliant. You have done quite a few things with with new tech solution, like what we saw at Max TV. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience working with new tech products and how that has maybe influenced some of your decision in the recommendations you make to your client?
I've had a lot of interesting experiences with new tech products, particularly if you ask me products that I've loved working with a lot. It's the TriCaster, particularly the TC1 series, the 3Play, and then the NCIO. But my challenge with the new tech products, particularly when it comes to the NCIO, has to do with the 1 gig NIC card on it. That's the network interface card that's on it for their TC1, the 3Play, and the NCIOs. Now that limits how much of NDI video that can pass through it. You have an average of 100 MB per NDI feed. So if you do that rough calculation, you're talking about 10
streams.
10 streams. But in practical, you can't really push 10 streams from it because you also need a headroom for it to happen. So you're talking of about just 8 streams that can go out of it. So for me, I think it's something new tech needs to look into. How do you make 10 gig possible on those versions of their products? I know for the VMC series, you get a fiber connection on them, which allows you to do 10, 40, or 100 gig out of them. I think it's something they should be looking at to at least make their product standard as 10 gig on the TC1, on the 3Play, on the NCIOs. If they could make them 10 gig as standard, that would be lovely. That would be something wonderful for them to look at. But if you ask me about if we're looking at the overall functionality of the product, TC1 is one of my best products any day, anytime, because it gives you all the flexibility to deploy in the shortest time. So you're talking about virtual sets, the TC1 comes with a virtual set editor, the amount of things you could do with the virtual set editor, the amount of sets you could build, and you could see what Max TV did using the TC1. Well, after we installed it for AFCON, they got the English Premiership, they used it for it. The same studio is being used for the Ghana Premier League as well. The same studio is being used for other live shows that they do in Max TV. So imagine on a single day, let's say on a Saturday, there's the English Premiership show, and the same Saturday, there's the Ghana Premier League. Now, the sets changes thanks to the virtual set editor, but the studio remains the same. No physical construction, no need for any physical work being done in the studio. And if someone tells you that was done as Chroma, you will not agree.
For those of you who are joining us and thinking about new tech product, this is a class act of how it's been used at Max TV. I was part of this project when it started, and just watch the way the team have just creatively put wonderful things together using VisaRT for things like replay. I'm just going to try to scroll this video, and I saw a replay that I found pretty interesting, and this was using the so that is VisaRT, which is also installed in Max TV at the studio, and doing this kind of replay. I think is really it's just amazing what you get from this solution. And if you're wondering why I keep looking to my left, for those of you who are just joining, I am obviously switching, maybe not obviously enough, but I'm currently switching the screens and producing this show as it's going along. So I have to look on my left to make some switch and things like that. And if you want to see what I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure I get the right solution here. I'm just going to show you what my screen looks like. I think, yes. So on the screen, you can, I'm currently using TriCaster TC1 for this show, and the camera that is right in front of me is actually the NewTek PZ camera, NDI with sending NDI HTEC, and that's my camera on my phone. Now this feed right here, believe it or not, is a wireless feed. And if you're not sure whether people can just say things, I'm going to let me move my camera to that angle and show you what I'm currently using in terms of my phone. So I'm just gonna move the camera. Yes, let me put that on full screen, and you can see what I'm working with. So as you can see, this is all wireless, and this is the NewTek NDI camera app running and sending me a feed wirelessly into my system. That's just my Benro. And this is my studio. You can see over here, making my life easy. I'll just send that back to me, 1 second. So I'm producing this show, and yeah. So this is my little studio. Well, I'll bring the rest of the team back.
Okay. So for those who think it's all about football, I say it's a big no. We've used the Mojo, for instance, for our telenovela show. So for weekends, we show a telenovela from Monday to Friday, and then weekends we do an omnibus. So we've used the Mojo to do outside broadcasts from a pub where people gather and watch the telenovela.
Thank you so much, guys. Chim, thank you for your time. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. And Wale as well, thank you so much for your time and being a part of this.
You're welcome.
Well, all three of you would always be one way or the other part of my team. as we talk to other people in the other parts of Africa. The plan is the next show would be in East Africa, and we'll pick a case study, see what they're doing, how they're deploying technology, and then we'll move on to North Africa and then South Africa, and just see what everyone is doing in Africa, and you never know. The solution you're looking for may just be right on this show. So whenever you can, just go to our site, and it would always be a pleasure to share with you technology as it comes. So guys, thank you so very much for your time. And this is where I would be saying goodbye for now, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.